They asked me to do it, and I said yes, never thinking it would be done. Then they got everybody wanted to do it. They got Jerry Herman, and they got Harvey Fierstein, who had written Torch Song Trilogy. And I thought, oh, he has the sensibility of this generation's gay people. Good. And they didn't have the rights to the picture. They had the rights to the play, which was very different, let me tell you. There was a lot of stuff we couldn't use. So I had a meeting with Harvey and Jerry. It was really good. And Jerry had written I Am What I Am, which impressed me because it was much tougher than his usual stuff. And we started with that. And the idea that this character was going to sing it, and I thought, well, why would he sing it? We have to set it up. Well, then you had the opening of the show, because then they sang We Are What We Are. And the way the story developed, they were trying to raise money. So the three of us would meet and talk about it, and then we'd have auditions. And I would invent. And if there was a good reaction from these would-be backers, it stayed in. If it didn't, it went out. And that's the way the thing was done. And then we started casting, and it was possible to find somebody to play George, this so-called man of the two. And along came Gene Barry, who was a dear man and very funny because he had great vaudeville style, which I liked. And he thought he was being continental. It took place in France. So we do this. Well, I said, keep it in, because that was campy, but he didn't know it. And rehearsing the show also was testing what to do. I would do a scene. It was the first musical where two men sang a ballad together on stage, and one kissed the other one's hand. And the first time the company saw it, I saw some of them starting to cry. So I thought, that's right. I also thought no sex, because that would make it distasteful. This was in the early 80s. And they wanted to fire Gene Barry, well, they didn't. And we opened in Boston, and that first preview, well, that was canceled because the scenery didn't work. But the second one was even more exciting than West Side Story, because West Side Story, we knew what we were aiming for. With La Cage, nobody had a clue. I was just, flying blind and hoping I'd made the right choices. It was very delicate, whether you would get too far out, too gay, or too straight. And particularly at that time when things were at an edge. And then we were in Boston, which is very puritanical. And that first preview audience, they went wild. And I remember Jerry and Harvey crying, saying, they get it, they get it. And at the end, they were even standing in the second balcony. It was the most exciting nights in the theater to have done something and you think, my God, they get it. The Rain in Spain. But it was thrilling.